Hey everyone, Chounji here with another guide to the Binding Call of Bahamut, but this time for turn 2. Now, you're going to be fighting through a gauntlet of mini-bosses known as nodes before you even reach the final boss. Thankfully, there's only 6, and you only have to kill 3 of them before you fight ADS. Now, for every single one of these nodes that you kill, their special ability will be taken away from ADS, but you're also going to give them a small buff. However, every single one of these nodes that you leave up, their special ability will be given to ADS to use in the fight against you. As soon as you pull the first mini-boss known as the monitoring node, the clicks will begin. There's going to be 12 clicks in total. This means you have 12 minutes to finish turn 2 before you fail. Now, the monitoring node only has one special ability, which is a pulsing AoE damage that hits the entire raid for about 300 every 3 seconds. He also has a repelling cannon and high voltage, so you're going to have to silence every single high voltage, or it's going to be very difficult on your raid. What we do is we use our main tank and one of our bards, switching back and forth with the high voltages. It's up to you how you're going to deal with it. You can even use just one monk, but he's going to have to be extremely skilled. Also, every single one of these nodes is going to have a frontal cone auto attack. This conal auto attack is actually going to be giving your tank a debuff. This debuff will increase the damage done to him. What you're going to have to do is tank swap. We tank swap at around 3-4 stacks of this debuff so that our tank doesn't get overwhelmed. Your tanks are going to have to be approximately 90 to 180 degrees apart so that they don't get hit by this conal AoE attack once it's switched. Because if your tank is hit while he has stacks on, it's going to refresh his stacks. This will cause a lot of issues for you later if both your tanks have stacks and you can't switch. After you kill the monitoring node, he's going to give a buff to every single node here on out. It's just a small physical damage buff that you're not really going to notice. Now, after you kill the monitoring node, you're going to have a choice between going east or west. Now, if your raid consists of mostly physical DPS, as my raid does, it's highly suggested that you go east. And if you consist mostly of magic damage, it's highly suggested that you go to the west. Now, the reason for this is because by going to the east, you're actually going to hamper the magic DPS by approximately 25% by killing one of these nodes. Now, if you go west, you're going to hamper piercing damage and blunt damage, meaning bards, dragoons, and monk damage is going to be reduced by approximately 25% on the last boss. Now on the east side that we have chosen, we had to fight the defense node. Now the defense node has a special ability called Chain Lightning. This Chain Lightning bounces between targets and does medium damage. It jumps between 15 and 20 yalms, meaning unless you're really spread out, you're going to be hit by this. So just heal through it with Medica 2 and Sucre. Once you kill this boss, you're not going to have to worry about having Chain Lightning through ADS. But you're going to give the final boss slashing resistance, meaning tanks are going to do approximately 25% less damage. This can cause a little bit issues with threat initially, but it should be alright if you wait a few seconds. Once you defeat the defense node, you'll enter a room to fight the disposal node. The disposal node's special attack is called Firestream. Firestream charges in 5 directions and after a short period of time will explode, doing moderate initial damage and high dot damage, so be very aware of this. I find the easiest way to deal with this mechanic as a melee DPS is to try to stay behind the disposal node the entire fight. This way, when he casts Firestream, all I have to do is back directly up, instead of having to dodge either left or right one of his streams. Now, once the disposal node is killed, he will give the last boss a magic resist bonus. This means Black Mage and Summoner damage will be reduced by approximately 25%. So for my raid, the last boss is going to have a physical damage buff, a slashing resistance buff, and a magic resistance buff. Although, now we're not going to have to deal with Chain Lightning or the Firestream on the final fight. However, if my group would have decided to go to the western path, the last boss would have piercing resistance, blunt resistance, and increased physical damage, meaning bards, dragoons, and monks would be doing approximately 25% less damage. Though, we wouldn't have to deal with Baltast and Gravity Field, which my group is going to have to deal with now. The final boss is next, ADS. For my group, he's going to have these skills: Baltast, Gravity Field, and Allegan Rot. And for some reason, the monitoring node's pulsing AoE comes back. But instead of doing 300 damage every 3 seconds, now it does 600 damage every 3 seconds. So still just use Medica, Sucre, and Sewn Skin to try to deal with this issue. Now the first 25% of ADS's life is basically the same as it was in turn 1, with the exception of having to switch tanks. ADS will have high voltage, repelling cannons, and piercing laser, though he doesn't always necessarily cast them in that order. Once ADS gets to 75% HP, he'll gain his first new ability, Allegan Rot. He gets this from the quarantine node that's in the far south room of this turn. Now, a lot of people seem to have trouble with Rot, but this is how my raid sets it up. As you noticed, we had many numbers above our heads. The tanks had the 2 red numbers, 1 and 2, and the rest of the raid had numbers 1 through 5. The reason for this is because once Rot is placed on someone, it has a 15-second timer. Once it reaches 0, it will explode, killing everyone in the raid. Now, the way you get rid of this Rot is by running through another player. However, you don't want to do this too soon, because once you give it away, you get a debuff that makes you immune to Rot for approximately 40 seconds, and you cannot get it back. So what we do is at 5 seconds left remaining on Rot, we'll pass it to the next number. Since I'm the melee DPS, I'm number 1. Then in a half circle around the room, starting to my far left and ending at my far right, it goes numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5. I pass to 2, 2 passes to 3, and 3 always passes to 4. Once it gets to 5, number 5 will pass it directly back to me. Now, since there's 2 melee DPS, sometimes I accidentally give it to my other melee DPS. You guys just have to be verbal about that and let him know that, oops, I accidentally gave it to you, and so he knows to go give it to number 2. So, at 5 left, I hand it off to number 2. Now I have a 40-second debuff. Now I have to wait, I'm immune. Number 2 at 5 will give it to 3. So once it gets to 5, I'll have no debuff and I can get it once again. You have to do that the entire fight. Now if Rot does explode on you, it doesn't matter. The boss is going to cast it almost immediately back onto another target. So it's not a good way to get rid of it. Once the boss reaches approximately 50% health, he'll absorb the next node. For us, it's going to be the attack node. Now since he absorbed the attack node, he's going to have a new ability called Gravity Field. The Gravity Field is cast at random areas on the field and does low damage and slows you, so just get out of it as soon as possible. It's more of a nuisance than anything. Once the boss gets to 25% HP though, he's going to absorb the last node, the Sanitary node. This node is going to give him an ability called Baltas. The Baltas skill is cast almost instantly, which is consisted of 3 red rings at a 270-degree arc. The only safe spots are directly in front of him and on the extreme outer edges of the skill. Now, Baltas does not cover the entire battlefield, so if your healers are standing almost near the walls, you should be okay. Baltas also does high water damage, so if you're at low HP and close to the boss when he casts this, you're more than likely going to die, so be extremely careful with this. The only thing I suggest is that if you stand in front of the boss when he casts this skill, you may be hit by him and you may get a debuff. So if you're the tanks and you step into his frontal safe zone and you get hit by him, the tank that has the buffs on him is going to get his buffs refreshed, and the other tank is going to get another stack of the debuffs. So be really careful with this as well. After all of this, the last 25% of ADS's health, he's going to be casting all of his new skills plus all of his original skills. So it's basically a race to the end. If you can get past this, well, congratulations, you get your sexy loot, and you get to move on to turn 3, Sonic the Hedgehog level. I'll see you there.
Silent.
Awesome.
4.
Am I? Yep, I'm okay.
Does Azerati need the next?
Five.
Okay, come to me, Chounji.
Hold on, I have 3 seconds. I have 3 seconds. 2, 1. Okay, I can get it.
Benediction 6.
Good job.
Wee bit dirty, but I got it done.
I don't know what's wrong with us in 2 today.
So where's my tanking loot?
Incoming. I think he already has those.
Yeah, I already have the choker, so I'm gonna pass on that.
I guess I'll agree on it since I have a 50 monk if you guys don't care. Since he already has them.
Let the fun begin, boys. True. I'll be more specific next time. Shady bullshit. I was gonna show you my sweet carry trick too, but no. It's like free travel. Run, save, run. It's like run off run because I'm the map in the face. Son of a bitch! We're alone when we select it, so. Thank you, Simmer. Okay, thank you. Okay, last part. Get in there. You run so funny. Yeah. Wait, no, that's right, isn't it? Fuck, I don't know. You go on the look on that. Left. Please tell me I was right. That's correct. Okay, this is the last part for real. Oh, Jesus. Ow. Okay, oh, shit! Feels like we're gonna die. Got this. Oh, I clicked it wrong. Got it.
Well guys, that does for turns 2 and 3. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to comment in the comments below with things you liked about the video, things you didn't like about the video, and things you'd just like to see in the future when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV. Also, please subscribe and share this video so we can get the word around. My next video that's coming up is going to be turn 4, so look forward to that in the future.